This is David Soakell of Christian Friends of Israel, and I'd like to take you on a journey to our Jerusalem office and distribution centre. Here you will find the work of Christian Friends of Israel's projects that are administered by our CFI office and DC. Christian Friends of Israel have a variety of projects which are administered in Jerusalem by our CFI Jerusalem staff. However, from the UK, CFI also support a school for the children of believers, the pro-life work in Israel, and several projects to help the Palestinian babies and families. We don't have time to go into all the details of everything that we do. However, I hope that we can highlight a few for you here so that you can pray over these issues and support in your own time. Just around the corner from our Jerusalem office, you will find our Christian Friends of Israel distribution centre. Speaking to the nation of Israel, God speaks through the prophet Isaiah in Isaiah chapter 60 and verses 11 and 54 verse 7, where we read, "Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, with great mercies will I gather thee." And through Project Open Gates, Christian Friends of Israel help a variety of people, as you will see. Project Open Gates serves new Israeli immigrants in their first 3 years in the land. Many arrive at the border of Israel not knowing what lies ahead of them. And according to the scriptures, it says, "I will bring your children from the east and gather you from the west. I will say to the north, give them up, and to the south, do not hold them back. Bring my sons from afar, and my daughters from the ends of the earth." This is taken from the book of Isaiah 43. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31 and verse 8, it states, "See, I will bring them from the land of the north, and gather them from the ends of the earth. Among them will be the blind and the lame, expectant mothers and women in labour." There are a variety of projects that we do to help and serve the Jewish people of Israel. And the Jewish people have come back from all over the world, including Ethiopia. And so Project Hope for a Future is blessing the thousands of Ethiopian Jews. Our motto is from Proverbs 17:17, "A friend loves at all time." And Hope for the Future reaches out to these Ethiopian Jewish communities in the land of Israel. Psalm 72:12 states, "For he will deliver the needy who cry out, and afflicted who have no one to help." Ethiopian immigrants, numbering more than 110,000, face many difficulties adjusting to Israeli society. With the help of Christians from around the world, CFI is able to provide financial and practical assistance to needy Ethiopian families, many of whom are unable to meet even the basic needs of their children and household. Another area that we help Israelis is with Project Community Under Attack. And this is reaching out to the victims of the many rocket attacks that Israel have suffered from. You know, no government in the world would be condemned for defending its civilians from rocket attacks, except maybe Israel. For more than 10 years, the communities of southern Israel have been under repeated attacks by rocket fire from the Hamas-ruled Gaza Strip. There is a full-length video on this subject on our CFI YouTube channel if you want to see that. But Israeli civilians have suffered sleepless nights, physical injuries, depression and severe anxiety. The children suffer many things, including sleeping disorders and nightmares, anxieties and learning difficulties at school. Younger children even go back to the bottle and have extreme difficulties being separated from their parents. Mayan Hendler lives just 2 kilometers from the Gaza Strip in Israel, and she describes her experience. She states, "It's a quiet place. The education is excellent. The kids can run around freely. Everything is perfect." And then the strikes begin. Suddenly on a quiet morning, without any warning, you hear Zava Adom. The whole body just tenses up into a state it's familiar with, a familiar feeling that comes back. Then you run to the bomb shelters, and I was actually outside with my youngest baby, my third child. We ran to the shelter. My other children, the older ones, were still inside the house with my husband. From that moment, everything completely changed. Every little sound, my kids were asking, "Mummy, what was that? Mummy, what was that?" I wish, I'm so full of hope that both sides will just be able to live in peace and quiet. It says in Psalm 143, "Deliver me, O Lord, from my enemies. In you I take shelter." And it also states in Psalm 143, "Revive me, O Lord, for your name's sake. For your righteous sake, bring my soul out of trouble." Let's now hear from the Communities Under Attack project coordinator, Maggie Hung.
Israel really have gone through a tremendous difficult time because of ongoing terror attack. It is said about 70-80% of civilians have to take antidepressant medicine so they can function daily. They say, "You don't know me, but you come to help us and love us." We really very touched.
Another project is Under His Wings, which is similar to Communities Under Attack, and again Maggie looks after both these areas. Under His Wings exists to reach out to terror and trauma victims from bus bombings and other terrorist attacks. We bring comfort and compassion through one-to-one visits and various practical and financial gifts. We desire to be a light in the darkness to many lives in Israel, lives where people have had their families forever torn apart, or where surviving victims are often scarred physically and emotionally for the rest of their lives. Many Israelis end their everyday telephone conversations with the words, "I love you." Why is this, you might ask? Well, it's because activities which are considered normal everywhere else in the world, like getting on a bus or having a cup of coffee with a friend at a cafe, even walking down the street, can be a fatal activity in Israel. Having miraculously escaped a terrorist attack on the bus that I travelled on every day to the CFI office, which was blown up by Hamas on Mexico Street in Jerusalem in 2002, I can relate to what these Israelis have to put up with on a regular basis. CFI visit with victims at these times, compassionately listen and acknowledge their continuing pain, and bring in gifts and financial help whilst conveying the message that we remember, we care, because God cares. Project Forsake Them Not is a special project helping needy and sick Holocaust survivors with financial aid and with God's love. The hearts of these precious survivors are still sore from their terrible experience from living in a camp or ghetto during World War II. CFI's dedicated Forsake Them Not team reaches out with love and compassion to these dear ones who have suffered so much. The book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verses 1 and 2 proclaims, "Comfort, Comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and proclaim to her that her hard service has been completed. The CFI team are blessed that they can bring love, comfort and gifts. Here's Forsake Them Not project coordinator Olga sharing on this ministry.
Forsake Them Not team reaches out to the Holocaust survivors for over 30 years here in the land. Over the years we built deep friendship, relationship of trust, we build the bridges. And now when we come to our families. We don't just come to visit friends, we come to visit our relatives. And we receive this way from their side as well. We travel all over Israel, visiting our precious friends. In past years, we made over 400 visits a year. There are approximately between 12 and 15,000 Holocaust survivors who actually were in the ghetto and camps, concentration camps, during the World War II. And this is people whom we are reaching to. We also know when the birthdays of our precious Holocaust survivors are. And over the years, we send thousands of birthday cards to greet them on their birthday. And we write their names by hand. And that handwriting really speaks deeply into the people's hearts. They know they're not just a number, or the number that some of them are having on their hand. Somebody knows them by name. We receive phone calls from our precious friends to express their gratitude. One lady said, "The birthday card you sent me with words of prayer in it brought the presence of God into my day and in my life." The prayer included Psalm 139. It is what we need today to let them know that God of Israel, their Abba, loves them. He knows them by name. He wants to hear what their hearts want to share with Him. We encourage our friends to just pour out their hearts. We trust the Lord to direct our steps into every home that needs a visit most. When they hear from us an announcement that we will be coming soon to visit them, they rejoice. They have something to look forward to. They count days. They see the love of God. Many of them are saying, "You point us to God. Your prayers mean so much to us." And when we leave, they have something good to dwell on. They remember every word. They remember our prayers.
There are many other projects, such as Streams of Blessings, that help a variety of people in the land of Israel, from the poorest of the poor to various other projects. We also look after the believers in Israel, the household of faith, enabling the pastors in Arab and Jewish congregations in Israel. And all this is backed up with prayer. It says in Isaiah chapter 62 and verse 6, "I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day or night." And through Christian Friends of Israel in Jerusalem and through Christian Friends of Israel in the UK, we enable the church to pray for the nation and people of Israel. And through the walls of prayer, there are thousands of believers in over 100 countries praying for every area of the land. Our ongoing commitment to the intercessors is to be their eyes and ears, supplying whatever information we can. And what we're building cannot be seen in the natural, but we believe it's a very powerful wall of prayer in the spiritual realm. There are many other projects that Christian Friends of Israel are involved with, and we don't have time to show them here. But please do visit our website at www.cfi.org.uk and you will find out so much more.